Hello everybody, I'm Frida Stauffer. It's Saturday morning and I'm having my coffee. Today I want to make chicken shawarma for my kids. And yesterday I had fried chicken for the kids. Because yesterday was Friday and I make fried chicken every Friday. Almost every Friday, unless there's something else going on. And then I have been reading up online. The best information I could find was
yeah, look, I have donuts and you don't like that.
I was looking where to find out where the origin is of the Stauffers from Switzerland. It says that they were originally found in the Aare River Valley and in the Emmental of Switzerland, which is more outlying, in outlying areas. It's not. So anyway, so that they're from the Emmental, and they're also from, the Emmental is really cold and it has a lot of mountains, and we have
Popeyes is not good. They're dry ass biscuits.
and then we have also roots in the Aare River Valley, which is where we're from. So anyway, the things that they were still in Switzerland after Peda Brubaha, my maternal bloodline came from. They had already left Switzerland when and gone to Alsace, France, when the Stauffers followed. A group of Stauffers went to Alsace, France as well, and some more Stauffers went to Germany, straight to Germany, instead of going to Alsace first. They went to the Palatinate of Germany. It's an area or a region of Germany where the Anabaptists had found their safety. They were safer in Germany than Switzerland. So they stayed there until they found a way. I don't know. I have to read more. About why they thought they need to go to the New World or the Americas. If the pressure, they probably felt pressure from the government there to conform to the state religion at some point. But for a time, they were safer there in Germany. And now I get why many of, well, there's a common belief that we are from Germany, but we're originally from Switzerland. And maybe the people who came here to the New World were actually could have been born in Germany. They could have been the children of the people who left Switzerland, but we're originally from Switzerland. And so I was looking on the map where the Aare Valley is and the Emmental. I was trying to see it on the map, and I found the Aare River and the Emmental. Both are very gorgeous places, and I couldn't imagine how much evil happened in such a gorgeous place. Why didn't people feel happy in that place? Why didn't they leave each other alone to enjoy the beauty? I don't know. I think there was such a strong need in this state church to control everyone. And then, of course, times have changed, and this church changed, and they're not as controlling as they used to be, even in the European countries. Eastern Europe and Central Europe is where most of the Anabaptists came from. The Amish also, and the Hutterites. The Hutterites were not from Switzerland, if I get if I have my information straight, but they were also from the Netherlands, Holland, even from Russia. Some of them had gone to the Czech Republic for safety, and eventually most of them ended up in the United States and Canada, and some in South America. There were some in Russia for several generations. I don't know how long they managed to stay there before they immigrated to other places, but their beliefs are all from the same origins. It doesn't matter which country they're in. Same, just like Muslims are. It doesn't matter what country we live in. We have the same teachings. We follow the same teachings. And interesting fact is that the people who protected the early Muslims in Ethiopia, which used to be called Nubia, the people who protected the early Muslims from the idol worshippers in Arabia that wanted to kill them, were Christians. They were Nubian Christians, or Ethiopian, as we can now call them. Ethiopian Christians were protecting the Muslims from harm. They somehow the early Muslims knew that those Christians were trustworthy, and they went there for protection. So I have also I was reading what was happening when the Stauffers were leaving Switzerland, and they at that point the state church had started burning people at the stake or drowning them if they were wanted to be Anabaptist and refused to change. So that's the biggest reason why people, the general population who had been going to the state church, they realized that the Anabaptists are being tortured, and they didn't agree with that, and many of them chose to join the Anabaptists rather than continue with the state church. But the state had drowned them, imprisoned them. Some people died in prison. They stayed in their rest of their life until they died, and other people escaped from prison and ran away to other countries. Many of them were able to take their families to other countries. Some like they would leave, and then they would later the rest of their family would arrive, and kind of how refugees have the experience refugees have had in recent times, where some of them would escape, and then later the rest of their family would join them. Sorry, I think I have allergies. My throat is sticky and froggy, but I'm so interested, and I'm probably going to talk more about them because I'm not done reading and finding out more. Interesting fact, though, is that the 12th Imam of the Shia Muslims we believe that every major prophet had 12 helpers with him or after him. Two, Isaac and Ismail each had 12 sons, and Moses had 12 officers. And Jesus had his 12 disciples, and I'm trying to remember if there were any other times when they had 12, but the 12 tribes of Israel came from the 12 sons of Isaac, and the 12 sons of Ismail were like the princess of 12 cities. They were like the leaders of 12 cities in their time. And the 12 officers that I have a point for this. The 12 officers that came with Prophet Moses, he selected one officer from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And then Jesus had his 12 disciples or apostles. And then Prophet Muhammad had 12 after him. They came after him, and he had told the family who's going to be, he knew before he died which ones they're going to be. And he told the family which ones. And it wasn't always the firstborn son. And most of their moms were from other countries. They were princesses that had been abducted from other countries, and in order to free them from captivity, the imams would marry them and set them so they could be free. And then of course they would, be happy because the imams were protecting them, and they'd have children with the imams. And so some of the imams' mothers were African princesses or Roman princesses, and and things like that. So the 12th imam's mother was a Roman princess, and her name was Nergis, and she is from the descendants of Jesus's disciple Simon Peter. And she was living in Turkey because Rome had control of Turkey, the Byzantine age. And she had a dream in which she was informed that her grandfather was going to attack the Muslims, and when he did that, she was supposed to escape with the slaves, disguised as the slaves, or servants, whatever they were. I don't know if they were chattel slaves or if they were servants or what, but they were servants of some kind. She was supposed to dress like them and escape with them, and they didn't know where she was. She disappeared from them. They didn't know where she went, but they took her. She and the other slave women were taken on a boat down the river. I think the Tigris or the Euphrates. They were taken to Baghdad on boats. And she waited. She told the captors that had taken custody of the slave women, and her included. She told them she's not going to go with anyone until the one comes with a letter. There's going to be a man coming with a letter to pick her up. And they said, this is not usual. Slaves don't usually have any say over where they go. But for some reason they respected her wishes and waited until a man came with a letter. And it was a man from Prophet Muhammad's family who came to get her, because they had been told in a dream to go get this woman. And so they got her off the ship and took her, and I'm getting cold chills. And she married Imam Hassan, who was the 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari. He married her to keep her protected and safe from going into slavery. And she became the mother of the 12th Imam, the Mahdi, who is supposed to be returning with Jesus, Prophet Jesus. And when I consider my history and my lineage's history and the history of the 12 Imams, the Imams were also often tortured and imprisoned, and property was confiscated from them, and it was all very similar to what happened to the Anabaptists at the hands of the state church there in Europe Uh, so when I found out that information about the Mahdi, I was shaking and crying, and I was like, oh my God, I found the Holy Grail, and I wasn't even looking for it, and I had no idea what it was. Some people believed that the Holy Grail was a woman that they were searching for, and I wonder if that's the one. I mean, there are different ideas about what the Holy Grail is, but I don't want my channel to be a religious channel, but I just wanted to share this information about my history and how it's like intertwined with the Prophet Muhammad and the 12 Imams, and how the early Muslims were protected by Christians, and then the 12th Imam's mother was a Christian convert to Islam, and she became the mother of the 12th Imam. Many of the other mothers were probably also Christians before. In fact, Prophet Muhammad's family is from a tribe that was already Christian. They were never idol worshippers, but they were sent to save the idol worshippers from worshiping idols and teach them to worship God instead. Because we believe that God is created us to worship Him, and if we don't worship Him, then we, out of a need to worship, we will worship something else, whatever that may be. If we worship our own desires, or worship money, or fame, or something, we will worship something if we're not worshiping God, because we're created to worship, and we're supposed to have it, be free to choose to, because God wants people who are free, who were made the choice freely. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this. I'm not trying to turn this into a religious channel, but this it's part of me, and I wanted to speak it because people who know me, I wanted to tell all of you what my roots are, in case you were interested, and then I felt like for myself I needed to show where it wove into Islam, and how I think that it's the same religion, but people have made it into different sects and things. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you have a great weekend. God bless you all, and thanks God for everything. Alhamdulillah.